Hello, Julie Torrens here. Let's get started. I want to work, shaking up some acrylic, I want to work on an art journal page, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So this is one of those times that I went into Pinterest and I was just paging through, and I'm wetting my brush. The color that I have here is called Lemon Drop. But this just kind of came to me as I was flipping through. Did I see anything like this? No, not even remotely. But still. So what I'm trying to make here is I want a very basic skyline. And I'm starting with yellow. I am not going to make a circle sun. I am just going to suggest that somewhere in there, there's a sun. Now I'm going to add a little pink. And these are the Dilutions paints. This one's called Tropical Sangria. And I picked these for a couple reasons. They're bright, and I love bright. And they're also fairly quick drying, which works out good when I'm here with you. But I like it anyway. I wouldn't just pick something because I'm going to be with you if it wasn't something I wanted to use also. It's a combination. So I'm just going around, and I may even add some more yellow again. But like I said, I'm just kind of suggesting a sky, kind of a maybe first thing in the morning or last thing at night kind of sky. But I want it to be, I'm not even going to clean my brush. I want it to be a background, not the foreground. So now this color, I'm not sure of the name. Let me get a little bit on here. This one is called Blue Hawaiian. So, and again, if it overlaps, that's fine. I love the way these transparent colors will blend with the colors underneath and give you, again, another color. There's still some pink on my brush, which is fine. And I'm just going right off the edge. And again, I'm not looking for any kind of perfection. I would like the gesso primed up surface to be covered. But if there's a little white showing here or there, I'm not going to sweat it. Now, I'm working in my Kincaid. It's an altered book designed to be an art journal. So there's gesso on the page here, just to kind of prime it. And even though you can still see a little bit of the background underneath what was under the gesso, that's fine with me. Okay, I want the earth part to be pretty narrow. So I'm going to add another row of this blue way at the bottom here, because I don't want much as far as the ground, the earth. Look how fast we've done that. Isn't that great? I'm still getting a little hint of that pink, and that's fine. I'm going to bring it down even further. And I believe you can still see. That looks like more paint than it is because it's a couple of bubbles. There we go. Okay, I like that. Now for the ground. I'm not going to clean my brush. If the ground reflects a little bit of what the sky is holding, that's fine with me. I'm going to put a couple of dots of this. There's some right here on the lid, so I'm just going to grab it. And this one is called Desert Sand. I'm going to kind of stipple it because I don't want a flat surface, because this is supposed to represent earth, dirt, something like that. I'm just putting my hand at the top of the page to calm down a little bit of the bounciness. Okay. All right, that looks good to me. I think I am going to go ahead. I am rinsing the desert sand out. Now that the top part is just a little more dry, as I say, this paint dries fast. I'm going to add a little more yellow to just bring it out more. Because I don't want it to look like, oh, she tried to make a sun, but she didn't do it. I just want it to be light, you know, the light of the sun, but not necessarily the orb. Could be behind clouds. I mean, who knows? But I'm just bringing that out a little bit more. Okay, that's good. And what it created was a little bit more orange. All right, rinsing my brush out real good. And I'm just going to let this dry a little bit. And I'm going to start on the next step. So I've got to kind of clean up and clean off here just a little bit, but it won't take me but a moment. I'm keeping my paints up here. And I've got my brush and some paper towels, and I'm just going to set this on the side. But I'm keeping my deli paper or wax paper or whatever it is. Now, mixed media, I got a lot of stuff here. So I've got some book page, and I've got 2 stamps. The book page, you know, I like book page, and I like the prints, you know, I like all that. But I want to back it off a little bit. So this first stamp I have is Vintage Florist by Indigo Blue. I bought these online from someone who was destashing, so I didn't pay anywhere near what they're worth. And these are good rubber stamps with the sticky background designed that you can adhere it. This one's called Floral Swirl. So I'm going to just set the packaging aside. Now, these are big, and I know that I cannot use a regular block. I don't have a block big enough. I am not looking for perfect. I'm just wanting to get some texture. So I think I'll start out with, I've just got 2 pages here of the dictionary page. Now, I just want to show you this. Do you see the color of this dictionary page? Now, this is from that economics book. You can see that's a different shade. And then I've got some music note paper, a different shade again from all 3. And I wanted that on purpose. I wanted some type of book print, but I wanted them to be a little bit different. So I picked 2 of these because they're so small. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got my black archival ink. Let me just get a few things out of the way. So archival ink, set it down. I am not looking for perfect stamping. I just want to get another layer of texture on top. So I'm just gonna put this on here. I'm not even standing up for this big old stamp, and I'm just stamping. Now, this archival ink doesn't move when it gets wet once it itself is dry. And this book page is very absorbent. So I'm just giving it a good rub. That is fine. That is fine. All right, I'm going to use it one more time. If it goes on top of each other, I don't care. That's all right. I'm just going to give it one right here and press this down. And then I may go ahead and do kind of a ghost printing on the side, which is just not re-inking, but going ahead and just moving it to another spot. So it'll definitely be lighter. Yep, that's fine. All right, I'm going to take this one off, put the other one on. Can you see how good they stick? That's one of the differences between a good quality rubber stamp and not. There's nothing wrong with acrylic stamps, If that's what you have, use it. But this is just what I have. All right, get this here. Now, I'm not going to get every place covered, but a good amount. I'm going to go ahead and ghost stamp right here. This ink, once it's dry, is hard for me to get off of my table. So that's why I put this, and I still got some on my table. I'm just going to grab a paper towel and get some of it up before it dries. Okay. That way I'm not getting it all over my clothes. All right, these two I'm going to call done. And I'm just setting them aside, and I'm going to grab music note paper. And I'm going to go ahead and use the stamp that's already on there. Give it a good press. Now that you've seen me do this, I'm going to try to work just a little bit faster. Paper move, that's all right. So what is on your table? What are you doing? When I was looking through Pinterest, there was an article, and honestly, I looked at so many things. I can't tell you who the author was. I don't even remember the name of the blog. But she said something that I thought, what good advice. I'm just switching up my stamps here because I want a variety on all the papers. So what was her good advice? She said, when you're looking for inspiration and you're looking at other people's art journal pages, don't try to copy just like that person did. Because when a person has something that's on their blog, on Pinterest, it's the best of the best. They probably worked many hours on it, and you're going to have a hard time replicating it, and you might even end up disappointed. And I thought, you know, she's right. She's right. We really shouldn't. I mean, it's for your art journal. So chances are you're not making something. I'm just ghost stamping in some of the extra white places. So you're not trying to make something that you're going to sell. You're just practicing. But still, I understand what she meant. And I just think it's good advice. Get inspiration, but then adapt it to what you have, including the amount of time you have. And you know, even this page that I'm doing now, many times my videos run over. So we're working together for, you know, hour and a half, 2 hours. And I know that's an awfully long time, but there are times that I just get so far done and then I just set it aside and pick it up another day. But I don't want to do that, you know, when I'm working with you. I want to do a start to finish project. And then when she talks about, I think I'm just going to keep using this one on this particular page because I like what's going on here. But get inspiration, adapt it to yourself. Don't feel like it's got to look like theirs. It's not theirs, it's yours. And I put the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know, if I make a video, I still have some ink that didn't get pressed, and I've got some white spaces. You see the ones that I'll tell you, not my favorite. and it's the truth, but it's art journaling. I'm not working on an expensive canvas. All right, I like the way that turned out. Okay, so those I'm going to set aside. I'm done with the stamps. I am going to give them just a rub because I like the detail. And if I let this archival ink just pile up on it, you start to lose the details. And you know, none of us want that. We bought the stamps because we liked the way they looked. So don't let the stamp just be ruined because you're not cleaning it at all between. And if I waited till I was done with the video, then I would be too late. Now the ink is not drying on this, which is normal. But I think we're done with this. It will dry eventually. I'm just going to fold it loosely so I don't get ink all over. Oh, look at that. What have I done? Okay. Like I said, I can get it off, but I just don't want to do it right now. All right, let's get our page back up here. Here we go. Okay. Now, feels pretty dry. Feels very dry. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to make some big flowers. I have a choice of 3 or 5. And I think I'm going to go with 5 because I can alternate their height. Do you know what I mean? So I can do that. Now, I don't really even care what colors they are. I'm going to use the colors that I have. These are fairly transparent colors, but I still think they'll be okay. Now, I didn't pull up maybe I should though, a paper plate. I got it right here. And we can put the colors. All right, now this one, all right, Blue Hawaiian I've already used in the background. Let's try this blue. And this blue is Blue Lagoon. So I'm just going to put a little bit on here. I'm going to just make ovals and circles, and I am going to leave space for a flower center. So I'm just loading this on my brush. I'm going to start way up here. And I'm just making a very basic circle. Just like that. We're getting some brush strokes in there, which don't bother me at all. There. Okay. Not perfect. Doesn't need to be. I'm going to rinse my brush out. I'm going to grab another color. This one is called Pink Flamingo. This never looks pink to me. Maybe it looks pink to you, but I am purposely picking some of the paints that I know are a little less transparent. So, dry my brush, get some of this Pink Flamingo, and maybe I'll make this one more of an oval. So I'm just going to start knowing that, yeah, that I knew I wasn't going to maybe get the edge exactly like I wanted it. That's okay. Because now I can turn it more into what I'm looking for. I'm not going to have them go on top of each other. If they do, they do, but that isn't my plan. The paint is awfully thick right in the middle, so I'm just pulling some of that out. Okay. Let's get a third one on here. Now, I think that orange that I have is awfully transparent. Which one is this? Strawberry. Let's try this one. Strawberry daiquiri. Is that what it is? Yeah. And let's get some of that out. I turned it wrong. I want it upside down. All right, let's get some of this. This might be awfully transparent. We'll just see. We'll just see. Yeah, it's very transparent. That's all right. I may just put another coat on and see what that does. All right. I like those 3. I'm going to get 2 more on here. Now, they could be this, you know, another one the same color, but let's just see. I don't want green. This color, it's kind of a Tuscan red. Let's see. It's called Fiery Sunset. I'm going to put it right on top of the orange. I'm going to clean up there. Okay. I like that. Nothing could be easier, right? I know you can do this. All right. I need one more. Maybe I'll go, maybe I'll do a little bit of a mix so it's not exactly the same. I'm going to go back to my Blue Lagoon, put it right where it was, and I'm going to add, if I add yellow, it's going to turn green. If I add orange, it's going to turn brown. What can I add? Well, let's add a little of this desert sand that we use down here. Just a little. So I would say I've got 3 parts of the blue to 1 part of the brown or tan. I think it's going to be just a little bit of a different shade, and that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I just need one more, right? Yeah. I like that. Okay. All right. I'm liking this just fine. I'm going to rinse my brush, double rinse, because I've been in the acrylic paint quite a bit. Give it a bit of a dry. I'm going to grab that orange, which I think was this, Strawberry Daiquiri, and I'm going to see about giving it one more coat. It's better to do 2 thin coats than 1 thick coat, mostly because of drying. This is sure a raggedy brush, but I knew that, and I picked it out knowing it was a raggedy brush because I knew I would get some texture as I'm going around in circles. Story of my life, right? Going around in circles. Okay. I think that perked it up quite a bit. These 2 colors are awful much the same, but that's okay. I guess these 2 are awful much the same. That means this one should really have more punch. All right. We'll give it a one more go. And believe it or not, it has somewhat dried already. I wouldn't say it's dry, but it has dried some. All right, you can tell me in the comments if I've darkened it up, because you'll see better than I can. All right, into the drink. Now the centers. What are we gonna do for the centers? You know what? I think I'm gonna grab, and I think I can grab it without getting up. Yes, I'm just grabbing some of my Liquitex Heavy Body. I'm getting some yellow, and I'm just gonna put yellow centers in. Does that just seem plain and ordinary? Yes, that's okay. And I'm gonna give it, they're all growing up together. They're all the same shape, basically. And so what I want to do is I just want to add all the same color in the middles to kind of give them a little bit of harmony. And I'm not looking for perfection. It's doesn't need to be. doesn't need to be. Okay. I would prefer if the sky didn't show through the centers a whole lot. I mean, it's sheer, but I would rather have the yellow touching the flower than to have a space. Now, there's kind of a thick edge. I may end up picking up some of that color. No, I didn't. Or at least I don't see that I did. All right. And now I'm going to do and the reason why I made this one an oval is that it's not facing us straight on. This one I am picking up some of the center. The center's picking up some of the flower. That's okay. All right, I think I'm going to give this one a little more. Maybe give them all just a little bit more. Okay, good. I like that. And again, I honestly think this is something you can do too. All right, I'm going to set this aside. I'm done with the acrylic painting for right now. I'm going to, again, set this aside, let it dry, and I'm going to grab those book pages. They're right here. Okay, so what am I going to do with these? And they've had a moment to dry. Doesn't take long. I'm going to start cutting out some leaves. These are going to be our leaves. And I'm going to fold it so that I am making more than one leaf at a time. And I want the leaves to be fairly close to the earth. So I'm not going to make them too awfully tall. And I'm just cutting out kind of like almond shapes. See? Just like this. So you can see the words, but you can also see the stamping. All right, I'm just going to push those aside, and I'm going to do similar here. And if I make more leaves than I need, that's a good thing. I would rather just have some leaves to put in my scrap bin. And I'm just going to set them. You saw how that looks. And I'm going to give it one more here. So I've already got 12 of these because there are 4 and I made 3 different leaves out of them. I'm just flipping them over, trying. Okay, and that can go in the scrap bin. And I'm gonna maybe not make quite as many of these, which is fine. If you remember though, I've got 2 sheets here. So I'm just gonna set those there. Spreading them out just takes more time. We'll take a look at them when we go to put them in place. Okay. And now this one, I am going to make the leaves just a little bit longer. Just a little bit. Longer and narrower. Now, would the same plant have this much difference in a leaf shape? Well, probably not. But these are fantasy flowers, and maybe it's a weed. Maybe it's another kind of a wildflower that hasn't bloomed yet, but it's kind of taking away from the other. You never know. Nature's that way. So I'm just cutting elongated almond shapes. I did not trace these ahead of time. I'm just keeping them simple. All right, we've got our leaves. I'm just going to set those up here for right now. And I think I'm done with the acrylics. I'm just going to set them aside. And I'm going to bring this back up. and see where we're at with drying. It's hard to tell because sometimes, oh, sorry, that was your light. Sometimes these paints dry a little bit shiny. But yeah, I think they're getting there. They're getting there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start putting these leaves on. I'm hesitant because I wanted to start getting some texture. All right, let's change of plans. Let's hit this with the heat gun. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to keep talking, so I'm not going to edit it out. What I would like to know in the comments is, how are you doing with your Christmas things? Now, when this video goes up, we'll about be in the middle of December. And as I said, I'm already looking at what I'm going to be doing for Valentine's. So I'm done with my Christmas crafting. And unless you're starting a fairly simple project, which is great, you also may not, be doing, there we go. I'm sorry, I'm thinking and I'm talking at the same time. But you may not be doing, the big things. I mean, I'm sure your home is decorated if you so choose to decorate, stuff like that. Okay, well, I don't know what I was thinking. I still need my paints. I had a feeling I was kind of missing the boat here. All right, now I want to add some texture around. The yellow still is, the yellow is still a little damp. We'll just kind of have to pay attention to that as we go. I've got this punchinella, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it just to make it a little more manageable. Now I'm going to put texture. My goal is to put it on the flower, but not on the center. But if it kind of bleeds over, that's okay. I'm going to start up here. And what color do I want to put on top? And yes, they're transparency, so it may not show a lot. I'm going to go ahead and use, I'm going to go ahead and use this Fiery Sunset. And I'm going to put it right in the yellow, right where I had that yellow. And I've got my cosmetic sponges. Yep, soft. It changed the color a little bit. All right, so now if I go off the flower, that's fine. If I touch the middles, that's fine. I just want to add some texture. Get a little more paint. I'm not to the edge yet of the flower, so I'm just trying. Now, one spot I kind of went over. That's all right. We are not going to sweat that. Okay. Look, isn't that fun? I love it. Okay, I am just going to take this bit of sponge, grab my scissors. I'm going to cut it off. Cut that little bit off, and we're going to use it again. Thrifty. I've got these stencils that have just a little bit of texture. So I'm going to have to move it around a little bit as I go. And I'm going to add to this one, I know it's a pinkish shade, so maybe I'll add, should I try yellow? Yeah. I mean, I know the middle is yellow, but this is that lemon drop. Yeah. And get a little of this on my palette. Don't need much. Now, this is going to be see-through-y. That's okay. And I'm going to have to move this around because it obviously doesn't completely cover my flower. But I'm just going to get some texture. We're going to get a sneak peek. Oh, that's fine. I don't know if you can see it. I can see it. I hope you can see it. Good. I'm going to get a little bit over here. A little bit up here. Fine. There's a little bit right out there, and I'm just going to give it a little rub. This is not, I really can't see much here. I'm out of paint. I'm going to just give it a little more paint on my paper plate and see if I can get a little more right here. There we go. All right, that's good. All right, now I'm going to use this one again on this blue one. And what can we use? Well, maybe because I'm going to be working on top, I think I'll switch up and go over here. All right. Let's start with this one. And I'm going to use desert sand. I'm not going to clean my little pouncy sponge here. I'm just going to go right in with the yellow. That's fine. And again, I'm going to have to move it around, but that's okay. Good. A little bit blotchy, but that's all right. That just means I used a little bit too much paint. If I was worried about blotchiness. On this, I don't really mind. It's just kind of like random polka dots. Yeah. Good. I got more around the edge, and I'm just going to grab my paper towel and just give it a wipe. But whatever comes up, and whatever doesn't. Not going to worry about it. Okay. Now, I think what I am going to do is, because I'm transferring so much, I'm just going to give this a quick wipe. There. All right. Now, this has squares. This has punchinella. So maybe this one can have this little, they're like little X's. And I think I'm going to use the blue. And this is the Blue Lagoon. Is that the one I want? I think so. Not Blue Hawaii. Blue Lagoon, yes. A little bit of paint. I'm going to go ahead and leave the brown. That's all right. And avoiding the middle of the flower. I think we're doing pretty good on this one. Let's see. I see almost nothing. We're going to do it again. It's just making random marks, but that's all right. Some stencils, if you want them to be more crisp, do better with ink than acrylic. But I think that's fine. It is. It's good. All right, last one is this one. I don't want to do punchinella again. This is like a leopardy. We could try it. Let's try it. Okay, what color? I think I'm going to use that Fiery Sunset. Or, no, this one. Pink Flamingo. And I am going to throw this sponge away and grab another. Here we go. And I just want to be sure I don't get too much, because with these lines, I think the chance of getting gloppy is really great. I could be wrong, but I think it would be pretty good chance. Like I said, I'm just looking for some texture on the flowers. And I didn't want it to look like I drew them in with a Posca. Nothing wrong with that. And if that's what you do, go for it. But I just wanted more of a textury look than a drawn look. Okay, let's add some more where I have some leftover spots. Yep. Yeah, it's good. I like these lines. I like them better than I thought I was gonna. That's the way it goes. Good. All right. I'm happy with this. I think it looks great. I'm setting aside my little stencil, and I'm just gonna give this a quick cut. There, clean that up. Okay. Now I think I'm done with the acrylics for a little bit. Set it aside. Okay, now for some leaves. Even though, I mean, look, I can just smear this and it's not moving, it is still cold. There's a coolness about it. So because of that, I'm going to be using my art glitter glue to glue it down instead of glue stick, because I really feel like glue stick, it doesn't like going on something that's wet. I've learned that. All right, so here are our leaves. So we're going to start just layering in some leaves. And you know what? This is my art journal. It's not something I'm putting in the mail and giving away. So if it's not just super glued down, I'm not worrying about it. And I'm just putting them like random. I'm not making leaves for this flower, leaves for this flower. I'm just putting them in random. And I'm starting with some of the smallish ones. And I want to change it up. You know, I want to have some big ones over here, some small ones over there. And again, I probably have more leaves than I need. Now that I've said that, I probably don't have enough, but we'll see. There. If it goes to the flower, I don't care. That's all right. Okay. I'm going to grab some of these long ones now. Slid around a little bit, that's okay. I like the way the stamping looks on these. I think it looks cool. And I'm going to grab another kind. This is from the, I always want to say math. It's like an analytic kind of a book. I just don't want to keep pulling the same leaf. I want to mix them up. What do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think. Is this a project that you'd be willing to try? Does any of this seem too difficult? I do know that sometimes people like myself and myself, I can assume that something is easy because it's easy for me, but it may not be that easy for you. All I can tell you is try and practice. Don't give up. Please don't give up. And avoid having a real strict picture in your mind of what you're expecting it to come out like, because I think that is a recipe for disappointment. It's yours. It's your own take. It's your own style. And so just go with it. Don't feel like you're in a competition or that you're trying to make it look like something else you've seen. Make it your own. All right. I'm liking the leaves. Maybe just a few more at the bottom. I've got an awful lot of these dictionary ones on this side. So what I think I'm going to do is grab some of the others instead of more dictionary for that little area. How did you guys get glued together? Maybe my fingers were gluey. I like that better already. Just to have that lighter, different. Let's get another one like that. If I put too many, I think it will stop looking like leaf shapes. They'll just start blurring up together. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop with the leaves. And now I'm going to cover my glitter glue. You know what? I made a discovery with this glitter glue. I don't know if you want to hear about it now, but remind me in the comments. Sometime I'll tell you what I learned about my art glitter glue and all the troubles I was having with it. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to put these out of my way and I'm going to grab my Poscas. Now I'm using acrylic pens on top of acrylic, so it should be fine. It will be fine. But I'm just going to kind of give them a little bit of more definition. So I'm going to start with green. And I know I have two greens. Here's the other green. So I think I'll start with it doesn't matter. I'll start with the darker. And I'm going to give these kind of robust stems because they're big, you know, and they would be heavy. And I think this one can go right on top of the leaves. It can go right in here. Like that. Good. And this one. And yeah, I've got some little stray marks here and there. Not worried about it. And this one can go behind the leaves. Like that. And this one. The edge of this flower is not real defined, the pink one here. And then this one can go on top. and go under that leaf, but on top of this leaf, like that. So one more. Did I make 5? I thought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 1, 2, oh, 3, 4. They just look kind of together. So this one I'm going to put over this leaf, but behind this one. If you hear a noise, it's the geese. They're honking. Even though geese can be migratory, if they feel like they have enough food, they'll stay put. So apparently the geese that live here by me feel like they had enough food, because I counted at least 50 of them. All right, I'm going to take the light green and I'm just going to go along the edge just to give it a little highlight. I am not doing any kind of precision drawing or precision shading or any of that. I am just putting a little interest in. There we go. Okay, good. Now, for the insides of the flowers, I'm going to start with this guy. And I think I'm going to use gray. I just go to the side and make sure that there's ink in the tip. I'm going to try not to get my shirt into it. And I'm just going to go around, and it may be subtle, but it'll be a difference. That's good. I like that. I'm not going to do a second one. I was just kind of debating if I was going to do a second one. All right, I'm going to take this kind of a peachy color, and I'm going to, should I do the same? No, I think I'm going to make straight lines. And then I'm going to put a ball on the tip of each of those. Are these fantasy enough for you? I think they're fun. I really do. And these details just help to make it all the more sweet. Okay, I'm going to take this orange, and I'm going to go around this one. How should I do this one? Well, how about V shapes? And then I'm going to put a dot like inside the V, kinda. I'm coming up to some shine, and it's not always easy for me to see. There we go. Okay, I like that. I'm going to take, this is kind of a bluish purplish color, but I believe it'll show up enough around here. And I'm going to go back to these bumps. That looks good. One more. I don't know if this pink will show up on that pink. I don't think so. Do I have, I think I have like a purpley shade. I do. And I think I'll make these a little bit longer. And then maybe just a line like the letter, capital letter T all the way around. Yep. This one is almost too faint. So what am I going to do? I think I'm going to grab this light blue and just do the same thing again. Okay, I like these just fine. I do. Okay, I'm going to grab A color I haven't used. This is a dark orange, and I don't think I used it. Okay. And now, to kind of unify them all, I'm just going to go and make dots all the way around. I'm going right over that leaf. What do you think? If you're making a comment while you're there, if you've stuck with me this long, you must not mind it. And maybe you'd like to see some more or get notifications when I post again. So please consider subscribing. I'm a newer channel. I'll be here a year in March. And I need subscribers desperately. So consider please subscribing, and you'll be able to enjoy doing more art journaling with me. Won't that be fun? I do a lot of other things too. I do watercolor and mixed media, but I try to keep it all where it can be supplies that you have, not running out and buying a bunch of supplies. And we repurpose books that were ready for the landfill, and we use those as art journals. That's what I'm using now. But we also use watercolor paper, but you know, you can, with the watercolors that we've done, you can even use your kids' watercolors. Seriously. I'm not just saying that. You really can. And it can give you some really neat results. Somebody is doing some kind of work next door, so if you're hearing a noise, that's what that is, and I'm sorry. But we're this far along, I am not going to stop what I'm doing because someone's making a little noise next door. That's the joy of living in a place like I do. But I tell you, sold my house a year and a half ago, moved in here. It was a year in July. Never looked back. I haven't been happier. It's small. It's doable. It's not overwhelming to me at all. And affordable. So I just love it. What do you think? I think these look great. I feel like the leaves are lost. I feel like the leaves are kind of blending into each other a little more than I'd like. So I'm going to take my green and I'm just going to outline and maybe add a little bit here and there of some veins. But I think this is going to help in a positive way. You can see it better than I can. So you tell me if you think it was an improvement. But I'm just loving this page. I think it's cheerful. I think it's colorful. I think for you, it's something that you can do. We didn't use any fancy stuff. I'd say the fanciest thing are my acrylic pens, which I do love. They're just so versatile. I enjoy them very much. The brand I have is Posca, but there's a lot of other brands. I don't work for Posca. I don't get any affiliate or anything like that. I got mine off of Amazon. I was gifted some. What a marvelous gift. And then I bought some more when the Frugal Crafter, and that's her name on YouTube, Lindsay, but it's the Frugal Crafter. If you look her up, you can get all kinds of good insight on deals. And when there's Ganga deals, she uses her community page and lets you know and gives you the link. And that's how I got a big set for under $20. Okay, I think I got them all. I'm not going to add any of the vein lines because I think that the printing that we did on there takes care of that just fine. Okay, I love this. I think it's fun. I think it's bright. I think it's great. I'm going to give it a sign. I hope you found this inspirational, maybe educational. I hope you had fun. I had fun. I'm looking forward to seeing you in another video. Please remember, like and subscribe. Bye.